Pokemon X and Y mean a lot to me. My first playthrough back when the game released was my first ever Nuzlocke challenge, along with really helping me on my path to self-discovery. But there's one major problem with these games. As an aspiring challenge runner and well-known enemy of any and all brick walls in the vicinity, these games are way too easy. How can I make content celebrating this game's late 10th anniversary while still providing a challenge for myself? That question was answered by ROM hacker Axon with his reimagining of the Kalos game's Ancestral X, featuring a fully original trainer AI script and making far more fights mandatory and far more challenging. This game takes the peaceful and calm walk through Kalos and turns it into a difficult climb, overcoming new challenge after new challenge to reach the top. Here's how I conquered the Ancestral X Hardcore Nuzlocke. I start my journey by meeting my lovely gaggle of friends and insisting that they do whatever they can to forget my name. Then, I pick up my Fennekin, breeze through the first fight, and immediately go grab my first couple encounters. The most important ones being a Rhyhorn in Vanville Town, Shroomish in Santaloon Forest, and a Goldeen in Route 24. After fighting through a few tough early game trainers, this game immediately bears its fangs to you by turning Viola from one of the most forgettable gym leaders in the series into a devastatingly tricky fight against her diverse team of bugs. However, I have the most consistent answer to Viola in Rhyhorn. Even though it doesn't have battle armor, this is one of the only ways to get a rock move before Gym 1, and it makes a pretty massive difference. The fight against Voila herself goes pretty well thanks to the tools I've picked up thus far. Corphish easily handles the lead Dwebble, Shroomish can Leech Seed and outpace Surskit, though I do have to time out my kill so that rain ends as I send Breaks in to Oko the Swadloon. This brings in Joltik, who gets walled by Lightning Rod, Goldeen, and Shroomish. Vivillon is normally the big threat, but by pivoting through Swablu, I can safely switch in Rhyhorn, wake up from the sleep powder that held Chestoberry, and Oko with Rock Tomb. This brings out her last mon, Larvesta, which folds pretty quickly to Rhyhorn and Corphish, and I get the first badge without a hitch. This next split of the game is long, but mostly without too much risk. This is largely due to the large jump in level cap, allowing my team to start the split at much higher level than anything I'd be encountering. I found that level 28 is the safest level to go to give just enough room to not overlevel most mons through trainers. This grants us evolutions to Shroomish and Rhyhorn, giving us a lot of leeway through the next bit of the game. I skip my Route 4 encounter for a trick later, beat Sycamore, and get Marshtomp. While all the Hoenn starters are serviceable, I found that Swampert is the most consistent throughout the game. I wait for a bit for my Route 5 encounter until after I beat Tyrno, who is beaten without trouble thanks to our level advantage and Breloom being able to easily take out his Crawdaunt. After beating that fight, I pick up my encounter in the Purple Flowers and am rewarded with a Doduo, with the ability Moxie. I also pick up a Venipede in the bushes on Route 6, allowing me to avoid the trainers blocking the grass for now. Finally, I reach Parfum Palace, and fish for my encounter, getting the 5% Fion. Now, before you pop off, this thing still sucks. But it does get early Fairy Stab, providing me with a good mon for the early game, but one who will fall off before too long. There are two incredibly important items here, however. Firstly, I pick up a small pack of honey. These 4 honeys are the only 4 you'll get in the entire game, and are the only way to guarantee a horde encounter in any given area. So I have the 4 areas I plan to use it in already planned out from the beginning of the game. The second item is the HM for Cut. Cut was changed in this game to be a 60 base power grass move that is guaranteed to crit. It's basically a weaker flower trick, and is useful for almost any grass type. Most notably, Little Breloom. With the ability Technician, Cut's 60 base power is boosted to 90, and it's still guaranteed to crit. This unironically makes Breloom into one of the best nukes in the game, as Cut will just Oko so many threats throughout the entirety of it. I take the honey I just got and backtrack to Route 4, where I guarantee a horde and pick up a Togepi. I then catch a Snorlax on Route 7. This route is where the first truly challenging battles of the run are located, including a tag battle against Tyrno and Trevor. If you let Calum go wild and KO much too quickly, Tyrno's Crawdaunt will take the field and will set up Swords Dances before you can safely counter it. Unfortunately for them though, I have a Breloom, which... yup. After catching a Tyrogue from the connecting cave, I make my way to Ambret Town. I grab a Gligar from Route 9, and then encounter a random horde on Route 8, in which I take Charmander. Some easy Team Flare shenanigans and a revived Aerodactyl later, we make it to Sillage City, the home of the second gym. I first head to Route 10 and catch an Eevee for later. Then, with the level cap of 32, I gain some important evolutions in Delphox, Swampert, Charizard, Scolipede, and Hitmontop with a Dawnstone. Grant himself is a pretty challenging double battle that makes heavy use of Sandstorm. The leads both have separate ways of causing problems for the rest of the fight, with Corsola having access to screens and Gigalith having access to stealth rocks. I get around this by having Hitmontop fake out Gigalith while Breloom scores a clean OHKO on Corsola with Cut. Aerodactyl comes in next, so I swap out Breloom for Swampert while Hitmontop uses Triple Kick to take around half of Aerod's HP. This does allow rocks to go up, but this was planned. The next turn, I use Aqua Jet with Swampert to safely KO Aerodactyl and Rapid Spin with Hitmontop to blow the rocks away. Cradily comes in, but by using Protect with Swampert, I can stay in an extra turn to damage Cradily with Hitmontop. I can go back to Breloom and Rapid Spin the second set of rocks away while Breloom takes a double up. I can now easily KO Cradily with Triple Kick and Leech Seed into Gigalith. On the incoming Tyrantrum, I can Triple Kick for massive damage and switch to Kingler. I can then protect Kingler from Mud Bomb and take a third KO with Hitmontop, baiting in the final Mon. I didn't think that would live. Where did I miss Cal? Wait. Okay, I have no idea why that lived, actually. That should have always killed. Weird. It doesn't matter. Calc is untrustworthy when it comes to Triple Kick. I see. All the more reason to trade it in for Double Kick then. I see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that would fucking happen, huh? Losing Hitmontop is incredibly unfortunate, as it was my only Mon with access to Rapid Spin, and now dealing with hazards is gonna require a bit more finesse. Moving onwards, however, I can gain some powerful new tools before I progress. I first use a feature I've neglected to mention up until this point: in-game trades. In Ancestral X, there are NPCs across the region that will trade you a unique Mon for any Pokemon in your box. I use this feature to get rid of a couple Mons that didn't have much use for, in exchange for some of the game's most powerful tools. I get a Sharpedo and a Joltik for two relatively useless Mons in the box. I also take this time to stock up on the newly purchasable ability capsules. Then I can backtrack to Route 6 and fight a few of the optionals blocking the items. I can pick up a Shiny Stone to evolve my Eevee into a Glaceon, which has a lot of value throughout the game due to how hard it can be to get your hands on ice types. I catch a Sock on Route 11, and then make my way into Reflection Cave. This is where the run really starts becoming challenging. From here, almost every fight has something threatening, so caution is key. Rhydon revolving into Rhyperior is a big help. As with its Battle Armor ability, it can relatively easily chain KOs. Another big help is the Woobat that I caught and traded away earlier. With that dupe, it is almost guaranteed to get Ferrothorn, which is one of the best defensive Mons in the game. Okay. Alright, sure. I'll take Mega Metagross. I don't even end up catching it. So I end up losing out on what would have been one of the most impactful encounters in the entire run. Alas, I trek onward through the cave with little struggle. Then I arrive in Shalor City. One uneventful rival battle later, I skate through Corona's fighting-type gym, eliminating the trainers with relative ease. The leader herself isn't all too bad either, with Dodrio getting a clean OHKO on her lead Medicham, bringing in the bulky Dusknoir. I switch in Breloom on Stone Edge and then get burned at the cost of setting up Leech Seed. From there, I can pivot Dodrio and Breloom indefinitely as it slowly has its HP drained out. Eventually, Dodrio takes the KO, earning a +1 from Moxie that allows me to OHKO the incoming Hitmontop as well. I switch into Rhyperior on Kangaskhan and use Breaking Swipe to lower its attack repeatedly to easily finish it off. On Donphan, I bring Gliscor in, who I poisoned before the battle, and it can easily take it down with a few acrobatics, staying healthy with our Poison Heal ability. I U-turn out on the Lucario and finish the fight with Delphox for an easy 3rd gym badge. With 3 gyms down, the game takes a drastic turn with giving me access to the Mega Ring. In Ancestral X, every Pokemon that has a Mega Evolution, even the ones that were introduced in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, can access it instantly upon getting this ring. This means that we suddenly have a lot more options at our disposal, and the difficulty does increase to compensate for that. Despite that, it's a fairly short and uneventful trip before Comarine City, though we do take an optional detour to Azure Bay for 2 extra encounters, the most notable being an Amora in the Sea Spirit's Den. Aurorus has been buffed to the moon and back in this hack, becoming an exceptionally bulky special nuke with access to refrigerate-boosted boom bursts. In Comarine City, you can also access the rest of the catalog of berries, including the super effective resist berries, which I'll be using a lot for the remainder of the game. Before I can enter the 4th gym, Calum challenges me to a battle. I lead Scolipede to U-turn the Meowstic, which gets a crit and KOs. I pivot Sharpedo back into Scolipede on Absol, and U-turning for a 2nd KO. I pivot Kingler into Lantern to easily take out Glaceon, but a small mistake spirals pretty badly here. I forgot to swap Lantern's ability to Volt Absorb. Now, by the time I've taken out the Glaceon, Lantern is too low to stay in on Greninja. With careful pivots, I can reliably bait Greninja into clicking U-turn on a switch into my Togekiss. I can then have Lumineon safely KO Jellicent, bringing Greninja back in. With some help from Kingler, Sharpedo can KO the Frog, and I can safely pivot Togekiss into Kingler on the Mega Outta. If this defense boosts, I'm gonna start crying. No, shot! That's bad. That's very, very bad. With the defense boost up, Meteor Mash is no longer a guaranteed KO, allowing Altaria to set up a Dragon Dance. This thing is about to sweep my entire team. In order to prevent losing the run here, I sacrifice Lumineon to safely get into Scolipede. I can then use Protect for a speed boost and barely KO with Poison Jab. Next up is Ramos. I OHKO the lead Meganium with Scully, and then U-turn on the incoming Sudowoodo into Rhyperior to pivot Breloom in on Woodhammer. I then get to click the funny Breloom button, and Sudowoodo stops existing on the spot. On Arbok, I can bring in Swampert, and then slowly KO while pivoting between Rhyperior and Swampy to restore HP with Water Absorb. I can then KO with Thousand Waves, bringing in Rotom. I bring Scolipede in on Leaf Storm, and then can KO with Poison Jab into U-turn. From there, Mega Aerodactyl easily KOs Masquerain and Mega Venusaur with Dual Wing Beat. Even after the buffs, he's still a joke. Thanks for the badge, scrub. Got him. The plot says that Kalos has an energy crisis now, so off to the power plant I go. This place is one of the 2 single hardest areas of the game, barring the Elite Four. Luckily, with careful planning and AI abuse, I can get through this section relatively quickly. Of course, until the 2 final fights. The first of these 2 double battles can be beaten easily by using Air Balloon Delphox to burn the Gliscor before it can activate Toxic Orb, and then focusing the other side. But there's still one major problem. Mega Gengar. After a dumb miscalculation, I end up losing Kingler on the switch. Fortunately, Delphox can OHKO with Psychic, and I can finish up the fight. The second boss of the area is another double battle, this one revolving around Prankster, Whimsicott, and Tailwind. I use Trick Room Delphox to put the order back in my favor, and I can take the first KO. But Whimsicott sets up Light Screen, and thus lives my Flamethrower. I originally expected Leech Seed here, and my entire plan is off the table. I protect Crawdaunt against Flygon's incoming Bug Buzz and chip it down with Psychic. I can then bring in Scolipede on another Buzz and a Leech Seed. I can then double into Flygon with Psychic and U-turn, having Glaceon take a Moonblast on the switch. Raikou comes in, so I switch Glaceon out for Swampert as Whimsicott resets Tailwind, and Raikou clicks Calm Mind, losing its Air Balloon to a Flamethrower. Whimsicott also dies to Burn, bringing in Feraligatr. I protect Delphox on the guaranteed double up and KO Raikou with Thousand Waves, bringing in Banette. I bring Crawdaunt in to take the double up and slightly chip Banette with Waterfall. I can protect Crawdaunt as I continue to chip down Banette's HP with Swampert. I can then switch in Delphox from Crawdaunt, but with Swampert at -2 attack, I'm dealing nowhere near enough damage to Banette, even with all the safe pivots and protect. The only safe play at this point is to sacrifice Crawdaunt in order to safely bring in Sharpedo. This fight quickly resolves itself after Banette dies, as even after a Dragon Dance, Feraligatr has no tools to win. Clemont is the easiest gym leader so far, despite him having a dangerous Thundurus. And this is all thanks to a little guy called Sea King. You see, the AI has a slight bug that I can abuse for 3 turns here. Thunder Wave isn't seen as an electric type move, and so AI will click it even when face to face with Lightning Rod. And so, I present to you, Gaming. That's fucking damage. Yo! That's a finished game. That's a fucking finished game! History's cleanest Deathless Clement. You wanna know the crazy thing? Guess what fucking move this thing has? This has 2 uses of Thunder Wave, baby! There's another rival fight here, but this script is too long as is, so we'll skip it and head straight for Lavere Gym. Her gym trainers are mostly trivial, but Valerie herself boasts a pretty scary team. She leads Audino and Jinx, and... Alright, so Audino and Jinx are both going to see a kill on Sharpedo. I was incorrect. That just lost me the game. So, Scolipede was my entire plan for this gym. This is now really bad, and I have to steer the entire fight. Through useful pivoting and Mega Lucario, I managed to take Audino out and get loosely back in the game, but my entire line is off now. To make matters worse, Lucario gets frozen by an oncoming Ice Beam, meaning I can't protect it this turn. I double switch to have Glysaur take an Aura Sphere and Swampert take the incoming Fire Blast from Ninetales. but the situation is still very bad. With Glysaur out, both slots see KO on it, and I can have Swampert use Thousand Waves and protect Glysaur. I KO Ninetales with Aqua Jet and switch into Sharpedo on guaranteed Ice Beam from Jinx. Sharpedo manages to dodge the crit and barely holds on. Diancie is in, and the scariest part of the fight has commenced. I switch Sharpedo out on the guaranteed Aura Sphere and Play Rough into Delphox, and use Thousand Waves for some vital chip on Diancie and bringing Jinx down into the red. I can now protect Delphox from the double up, Swampert taking a fairly weak Diamond Storm as I take out Jinx and put Diancie into KO range. The math here is vital. If I mess this turn up, I lose my Delphox. I get the turn right and Diancie safely goes down. It's just Chinchino and Mega Mawile now. Since I know Chinchino wants to Bullet Seed into Swampert and Mawile wants to Sucker Punch Delphox, I can safely Will-O-Wisp and switch into Mega Lucario. The fight is pretty much over from here as Mawile has no effective damage potential, but a damage roll missing a KO on Chinchino puts me in another bad spot. I have to play risky here. I have to do this. This is literally the only play I have. Unless I wanted to sack something else, but everything else is way too valuable. Everything on this team is too valuable to lose. The chance of me dying here is slim. I just need to get lucky. Don't max roll. Yes! Yes! Okay. With an admittedly scuffed 6th badge obtained, we now go to the Pokeball Factory for another incredibly difficult boss fight. Also, I lost my Electrode to a Grunt along the way, but it wasn't a major enough loss to waste much time on. What is major, however, is this tag battle. 2 incredibly scary Megas on the field and a moderately useful Calum at your side makes this fight rough. Calcing for every eventuality took a lot of time and careful planning. But eventually, I had a strat that should safely win me the fight. I take out Liepard turn 1 with Hammer Arm from Rhyperior as Calum's Meowstic gets paralyzed and Sandstorm goes up. I can now safely switch Rhyperior out into Field while Meowstic dies to a double up from the opposing side. Hydrogen gets taken down by Greninja as I let out a sizable Moonblast into Mandibuzz, and Mega Aerodactyl takes the field. Calum takes out Mandibuzz, and Aero sets up a Dragon Dance. This is now, officially, really fucking scary. I can safely guarantee that Aero targets Greninja and KOs it as I bring Aerodactyl under half HP with Brine. I switch in Rhyperior as Calum Mega Evolves his Absol and KOs Aero, and from here, the fight's over. Breloom and Absol can easily finish the fight. My next few encounters aren't bad at all. Honchkrow, Musharna, and Cofagrigus line the box now. Our first ghost type in Cofagrigus is immensely valuable, so I head up to the Ice Cavern confidently. I intended to use my final honey here to get a Swine up, but I forgot my Repel and pull an Abomasnow instead. At the end of the cave is an important Team Flare fight, so I trek my way through, breezing through all of the required Oh, Lava Plume's double target. Shit. I forgot about that. I was thinking of Flame Burst. Fuck me. Oh, shit. Anyways, Team Flare goes down easily, and I Master Ball on Absol because it's funny. I also fight Calum again, and despite his frequent team changes, he goes down without a hinge. Olympia 2 is rather easy. Now, credit where credit is due, this fight was made a lot harder after the last update. Now, Mega Sharpedo doesn't solo the entire fight. Instead, Delphox takes up some of that burden for himself. I KO Metagross turn 1 with Delphox's Overheat and bring Weezing down to Sash with Musharna. Then I can protect Delphox from the guaranteed Double Shadow Ball, and Musharna is free to kill Weezing. I switch in Snorlax on Double Shadow Ball and Flash Cannon into Mismagius. I protect Musharna from another double up and KO Mismagius with a Heavy Slam from Lax. I switch around to safely bring in Tauros and Sharpedo, and the game is pretty much set. Mega Sharpedo KOs Victini, Tauros kills Umbreon, and then I Oko Megazam with the Shark. Easy 7th badge. Ding Dong, totally not evil over there, just announced that he's going to... Hang on, let me read this again. Are you sure that's right? Isn't this a kid's game? So, Lysander just announced that he's gonna commit global genocide. So, we should probably, like, deal with that? This is, without any question, the single hardest section of the game. Upcoming, we have 3 separate Lysander fights, a metric shit ton of grunts, and a single room with 4 consecutive double battles that pose one of the most interesting challenges in the entire run. If I were to cover everything here, the script would probably double in size. So here's the Spark Notes version. I go through the entire lab with no issues, and then we go to Geosenge Town to fight a second Lysander battle followed by several tag battles. A small mistake on a tag battle leads me to losing my Musharna, and then there's the 4 doubles. Each of these are a challenging puzzle, and they'd be a nightmare to fully script in. I intentionally sacrificed Basculin on the Sand team to get a safe switch early in the fight, and make it through the Shadow Tag Gengar without any issue. The final fight, however, puts me in a nasty situation that I can only barely escape via losing both my Tauros and my Galvantula. Finally, after quickly capturing Gay Pride, Lysander makes his final confrontation. Yeah, Lysantrace, here he comes. He walks in, so this is the mighty Xerneas? What is he, one of those damn queers? While I can easily defeat the lead Ferrothorn, some pivoting on Emboar goes wrong and forces me into a really scary position against the just kidding. Glaceon takes Okos on both Nidoqueen and the legendary Yveltal with Blizzard. From there, Mega Abomasnow checks Gyarados. Until I remember that I was supposed to teach Woodhammer here. Oh no, not the defense drop. Let's go. Never fucking punished, chat. Now with the hardest part of the game done, we are officially in endgame. I pick up a Choice Scarf and a new encounter, and then it's time to rematch Professor Sycamore in what may be my least favorite fight in the entire game. Fun fact, Pokemon X is not well optimized. Do you want proof? Check this out. Alright, chat. Are you ready? Are you ready for the craziest Pokemon gameplay you will ever see in your whole life? What you're about to hear and see will shock you to your core. Oh, oh wow. Oh, it's so beautiful. Just say Headlong Rush, please. Just say Headlong Rush, please. Fuck me. And it hit. Man, that's unfortunate. Samurott. Wait! Why? Wait, I could've sworn I outsped. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm so stupid. I'm so fucking dumb! I underspeed by 2 points. Losing Delphox is really sad. I was planning on bringing it to the Elite Four, and now I don't have that option. But I persevered. Delphox had so much value through the entire game, and I would have loved to take it to the end with me, but we will strive forward. Next up is a back-to-back-to-back gauntlet against the rivals, which is very threatening. I lead Quillfish, baiting a psychic move from Shauna's Grumpig to give me a free switch into Absol. Absol can then Mega Evolve to get Magic Bounce to protect it from the incoming Confuse Ray and can KO with Night Slash. Goodra comes in for Absol to take a second KO, and Chestnut hits the field. I take the free switch into Aerodactyl and KO with Dual Wing Beat, baiting me Delcatty. I can switch into Aurorus on the Ice Beam and then take Mud Bomb and KO with Boom Burst. On Sylveon, I switch back into Quillfish on the guaranteed Calm Mind, and then Oko with Poison Jab thanks to my Health Poison Bar. Then I can use Lantern against the Mega Pidgeot for the final KO of the first battle. You don't get healed for this fight, but it doesn't really matter much. I use Wave Crash from Quillfish to proc Focus Sash while Talonflame sets up a Tailwind. I switch in Xerneas to let Talonflame die to Brave Bird recoil. From here, Xerneas with Choice Scarf KOs Hawlucha. I can then pivot through Aerodactyl back into Xerneas to reset the attack drop as Tailwind dissipates. From here, Xerneas KOs Crocodile, Crawdaunt, and Girafarig. Then, on Mega Ampharos, I use Lantern and Xerneas to stall out Draco Meteor and then finish it off with a Play Rough from Mega Absol. The third fight with Trevor does heal you, but it's still pretty scary. I KO the lead Florges with Quillfish baiting Raichu Volt Tackle into Lantern. He Swords Dances up as I take an easy 2-shot with Surf. Breloom comes in next, and on Power Whip I switch in Xerneas and KO with Play Rough. I KO the Tentacruel with Aurorus after a lucky para means I don't have to pivot out. But I have to do some risky Intimidate shenanigans with Quillfish to bait a Dragon Dance from Aerodactyl to give Quillfish a KO. From there, it's just using clever Volt Switch pivoting to finish off Scizor, winning me the gauntlet with no deaths. As penance for my good play, this happens. I'm an idiot, I ran into the grass and got Simisage.
Nico.
I was looking at chat! Okay, fine, we have a Simisage. Shit. Wow, it did not just do that to me. Hey, fuckhead. Get in the goddamn Pokeball. Fucking crit me. Cool. Oh my god. Huh? A fucking Simisage? Guess who was also coming to the Elite Four? I also almost wiped to some random kids in the woods, but after a few inconsequential sacrifices and a final couple encounters, most notably being a Tentacruel, I head back to Snowbell to claim my final badge. Wolfric leads Mamoswine, and I lead Air Balloon Sock to click Taunt before it can set up Stealth Rocks. I can then easily KO with 2 double kicks, losing my Air Balloon to a weak Ice Shark crit. And Wolfric responds by bringing it... Wait, is that my son? What are you doing here? Go away. This isn't where you belong, big guy. In time. Empoleon comes in next, and on a guaranteed Hydro Pump, I bring in my secret weapon, Stunfisk. With a Storm Drain boost online, Stunfisk can easily take Steel Beam and KO with Thunderbolt, then KO Lugia with 2 more Thunderbolts. I can't stay in on Q-Rim, so I swap Aurorus in on a weak Blizzard, and then bait Fusion Flare thanks to my held Shuka Berry. I can weaken it with Diamond Storm to bring the monster into the red, and I switch again to let it die to Life Orb recoil by pivoting Tentacruel into Stunfisk into Aurorus. Now all that's left is Mega Abomasnow, and I can easily KO with Escavalier's Horn Drill, which was changed to be a Bug-type Gigaton Hammer. With 8 badges in hand, the end is in sight. I carefully navigate my way through getting the last few items that I need before taking on the final gauntlet, and then we enter Victory Road. The Victory Road trainers are no joke. They all take careful prep, and many sacrifices were made to push my way to the end. but with every loss, a new shred of hope arises. My son. With my son safely brought home after all these years, I walk proudly through the remainder of Victory Road. However, something, pretty bad happens. I had my entire team planned out for the Elite Four and I knew who to protect. But even the best laid plans can have tiny, inconceivable holes in the basis. Castform's base stat changes weren't accounted for in the calculator, and Charizard was a necessary Elite Four break. I was devastated. My only other fire type was Camerupt. Without a fire type, Wickstrom becomes very threatening. So after reaching the gates to the Pokemon League, I logged off and I planned. I planned throughout the entire night, through the entire morning, and after a frustrating amount of time and multiple rewrites, I had a fully concrete document planning out every single turn of the Elite Four. And so, I booted up Stream, and I passed the point of no return. My team was prepared, and my will was firm. My first target was Malva, the easiest member of the league with my team setup. I lead Aerodactyl, Mega Evolve, and immediately take half of her team out. On Heatmore, I can easily switch Tentacruel in on Ironhead, and then KO with Surf. That brings out Groudon, the biggest main threat. With Aurora's holding an air balloon, I can safely switch in on Earthquake, and Oko with a Refrigerate-boosted Boom Burst. Last but not least is Mega Charizard. And I miscounted. My plan didn't account for Sun. I just threw a very crucial team member for the next fight. But it's fine. It's okay. I can KO Zard with Strength and take one member down. Drasna is next, the fight that I needed Auroras for the most after Malva. So, it was time to steer up a new plan. Luckily, there was a new plan, it was just a little stupid. I needed the lead Dragalge to run out of Draco Meteor PP, so naturally I do this by switching between Glysaur and Xerneas, as Xerneas always baits Draco Meteor KO, and Xerneas always baits Sludge Bomb KO. By using my Protect PP carefully and keeping careful eyes on Glysaur's HP, I safely stall out all 5 Draco Meteors. Now Dragalge wants to click Toxic Spikes, so I stay in and set up Stealth Rocks. The plan is alive. Now I can bait Hydro Pump and switch to Tentacruel, removing the Toxic Spikes. Now, since Tentacruel always baits it to use Toxic Spikes, I know I'm safe to click Screech with Tentacruel, lowering Dragalge's defenses. On a second T-Spikes, I switch Glysaur back in, and KO with Earthquake now that its defenses are lowered. Kingdra comes in next, so I can pivot Tentacruel and Ice Beam, tanking the hit and removing Toxic Spikes again, and then I can switch into Xerneas on Draco Meteor. With Choice Scarf and Rocks breaking Kingdra's multi-scale, a Play Rough from Xerneas takes it out. Then comes in Reshiram, which is the scariest member of the entire team. With the ability Turbo Blaze, it ignores my abilities with its attacks. I pivot Tentacruel on Blue Flare into Sturdy Aggron. Just kidding. He has a Focus Sash. Aggron safely baits Mud Bomb, and so I can switch into Arrow and KO with Strength. Then Superior falls to Dual Wing Beat. Altaria is last, so I go into Xerneas and finish the fight with 2 more Moonblasts. Wickstrom is third, and we're mostly back on track, but that doesn't make up for the fact that Wickstrom is by far the scariest member of the Elite Four with this team. I lead Aggron into Cofagrigus and Mega Evolve Protect turn 1, as the type and ability change needs to happen now. I can then switch into Pre-Poisoned Glysaur into Will-O-Wisp. I can 2-shot with Earthquake, taking massive damage from Hex, but recovering most of it off with Poison Heal and leftovers. Dialga is next, so I pivot between Tentacruel and Xerneas to slowly deal Life Orb damage until Dialga has taken 3 Life Orb ticks. I bring Xerneas back in on another Draco, and then I click Close Combat with my Choice Band Xerneas and KO. This baits out Empoleon, and this is where I can lose the run. This one turn can end the entire run. Tentacruel has to dodge this crit. There simply isn't another option. Yeah, I kind of have to go Tenta on the Steel Beam here. I need you to hold on tight, buddy. This has Aeroblast and Mud Bomb. Please don't crit. Please do not crit me. No? Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're so good. We're so okay. We're so okay. With a little bit of recoil and a Protect to restore some HP with Black Sludge, I can go back into Xerneas and close combat for the KO. On the Escavalier, I can easily set up stealth rocks for the last Mon and Excuse me? It was 50-50 to switch. Oh, fuck. That's bad. Okay, so this is all kinds of whack now, because Kling Kling is now clicking shift gear. I hit Heavy Slam with Aggron baiting Volt Tackle, and now I can KO with 2 Metal Bursts. With Escavalier back in, I can safely finish the fight with Gliscor. 1 fight left before the champion. Sigvald is last, and I saved him for now for a reason. This fight is bizarre, but it's planned perfectly. I walk up brimming with confidence. Alright! So we are leading Aerodactyl into this Drizzle Politoed. And we are guaranteed super uber dead to Scald. We are going to stare death in the face, and we are going to live. Okay. This is now guaranteed to click Thunder. So we're gonna switch to Gliscor. Now, on the guaranteed Ice Beam, we're going to go into Tentacruel. The reason why we specifically wanted to make sure the sun was up is that way we can never get frozen here. And that way we could safely run Choice Specs. And we can Sludge Wave this. This beats in Kyogre, who immediately sets the rain back up. But Max Roll Thunder is 216, meaning because I am a special attacker, it is always clicking Calm Mind. Aggron has this cool little ability called Sturdy. We are going to take minimum 436% from Hydro Pump, live, and kill with Metal Burst. Out comes Swampert. Yep, we are now going to click Cut. Guaranteed to live this. Swampert goes down. This is going to bait in for Alligator. We outspeed this. This does not have any priority moves. And this is Dragon type. Spates in Ludicolo. We Sludge Wave to kill. Tenta, I'm gonna need you to dodge one more crit, buddy. beautiful. Alright, Tentacruel! Thank you for playing! Catch you later, bud! Okay! The final fight is nigh. Diantha awaits at the top of one final elevator. And I was ready. I felt at peace. The fight starts off slow. Klefki leads, and its primary goal is to set up hazards and generally annoy you. I set stealth rocks to start the fights off while it sets its first layer of spikes. Then I defog to clear all 3 layers of spikes and light scroll. Wait. You get rid of your own stealth rocks. Lol. Well, it doesn't matter. With all of its spikes PP used, I can start spamming defog again now to remove both light screen PP. Then I can actually set up stealth rocks and take a Moonblast crit. And now I can KO with Earthquake. Keldeo comes in next, and nothing is prepped to fully take an Ice Beam. But I was prepared for this too. I bring in Aerodactyl on the Ice Beam and sacrifice— oh, it just lives that. I rip that Mega Evolution Band-Aid off and then properly die to Hydro Pump. With Keldeo crippled, I bring in Choice Scarf Xerneas for free, and KO with Moonblast. And Tay is third. I need one thing from you, Gliscor. I need you to not get crit this turn. Please. One more crit dodge. Yes! Okay! We're now faster than Entei? Get out of here! Next in is Zoroark, disguised as Diancie. I sacrifice Gliscor for a safe switch back into Xerneas and take another KO with Choice Scarf Moonblast. Rotom comes in, I stay in, trading a burn for a 2-shot with Moonblast. The last Mon is out. Mega Diancie takes the stage. Yeah, okay. Alright! This is clicking Moonblast! Xerneas? You're a real fucking player! See you later, bud. Minimum roll Earth power is 250%! We beat Ancestral X! Let's fucking go! And with that, another journey comes to a close. This hack is great fun, even if it is very long. I had an absolute blast running this game, and Axon did a great job with it. Please go support him by joining his Discord in the description below, and while you're down there, join mine as well. I do lots of Nuzlockes and other challenges 6 days a week live on Twitch, and I'm trying to get a little more consistent with YouTube content too, so please subscribe if you don't want to miss out on what I'm cooking up for the future. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.